In the last video, we took a look at the law of cosines as it pertains to two vectors. And we saw that we can make this kind of look like a triangle, and we got this formula over here, which reflected the one that we saw for the initial law of cosines equation. And now we want to just take a look at, is it possible that, what we have over here is similar to what we have with the dot product, and how can the two be used, not interchangeably, but how can they be used together? And this is obviously going to be something that you can use to solve a lot of problems that you'll find on the test. So I'm just doing this as a video just to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to this stuff, and we know how to move between the material. So let's go ahead and remind ourselves what the dot product is of two vectors. So say the dot product of vector x and vector y will be the norm of x, so the length of x, multiplied by the length of y, multiplied by the angle between those two vectors, which will be into the cosine, so cosine of that angle. And that is going to be your dot product. So this is the equation of the dot product. And this one up here is going to be a law of cosines for vectors, so LOCV, we'll go with that. So what if we want to go from one to another? Well, let's start off with this guy over here. Let's start off with the norm of x minus y squared. Now, how would I go from one to another? Well, let's go ahead and let's just think back to what exactly is this right here. We're essentially multiplying x minus y of the vectors squared, right? So this is, by definition, writing this in words, it's the norm of the vector that is formed when you subtract x minus y. So you have the norm of this vector x subtracted by y squared. That is essentially what this is, which means if we want to just go all the way back to old school style, we're going to break this up in the way that we know. This is x minus y multiplied by x minus y. So that's essentially what this is, right? It's the square of the norm. And now we're going to go ahead and we're really doing a throwback here, and we're going classic. We're going to just multiply this straight up as we know that we'd multiply two terms like this that are in brackets. So we'll go ahead and we'll multiply x by x, which means we'll have x multiplied by x. We'll do x multiplied by negative y. So we'll have x and y. We'll have another one over here. So we'll have another x minus y. And then we will have a final one over here, which is going to be plus y squared. So not y squared. I'm not going to skip steps here. Y times y. And then if we want to go ahead and we want to actually simplify these, we can say the x by x here. This is going to be the norm of x squared. Then the y over here, we'd have that one. We'll do that in a moment. Here we'll have 2. We'll leave this out like this, so x by y. And then this one back here, like I said, we'll go ahead and put that the norm of y squared. And I want to go ahead and just rearrange this, just for the sake of the way that we've had this arranged before. So I want you guys to start to see when we're about to cross over and complete the law of cosines. So I'm going to go ahead and have that like this. Now, with this written like this, are we starting to see a little bit of a relation, a little bit of this starting to form over here, right? We have this, obviously. We have this here. We have this. We have the negative 2, but how are we going to access this term? That's the only thing we're missing from completing this little transformation that we're doing. But look, we have the x by y here, the x, y dot product, and all we have to do is sub this in over here. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go ahead and write this out. So we keep the x norm squared here. We keep the y norm squared here. And then we have 2, and then we'll substitute in the dot product essentially. So x, y, cosine of the angle between them. So that's how we go from one to another, right? Give us a little bit of flexibility between the law of cosines and the dot product. How, if you have certain information here, you can use that to arrive at, where you want to arrive at. So that's what I wanted to focus on in this video, just to make sure that we're on, essentially the same page when it comes to this stuff. So we're a bit flexible when we have, information pertaining to one of these two main equations. We can actually, use this classic method of just, really going back to the definition of what it is to have a squared item, and then just multiply it out like this, and we get from one to another. That's what I wanted to show you guys today, to show you guys that the cosine of the angles are the same angles, and I hope this information sat with you. If not, leave a comment below. I'll respond to you as soon as possible. If this video helped you out at all, please subscribe. It means a ton to me, and that's all I want from you guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this taught you something, and I'll see you in the next video.